celebration. I'm Jim Miller, James' proud father. My wife Lynette's back here. Before I go too far, I'd just like to say that I typically get a little bit teary-eyed. When I talk, I get family talks, at special occasions, family occasions, I typically get teary-eyed. So just be forewarned. But anyway, just a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you to all of you for being here. It's just so nice that you all traveled. Many traveled long distances to be here with us, and we really, really do appreciate. And James and Christine really appreciate you being here with us to celebrate this special day for us. Secondly, I'd like to thank Jim and Mary Louise. This is awesome. Christine told us early on that someday she would like to have a wedding reception here. So thank you for making this possible. I'd like to thank Catherine. She's raised a wonderful daughter, and we are very, very fortunate to have her life and our family. Thank you. So far, so good. So next, Christine. Welcome to our family. Welcome to our family. Such a beautiful bride, inside and out. Inside and out. Did an awesome job putting this all together. And James, good job. A while back, James asked me if I would say a few words at the wedding. And, you know, knowing my problem, I was really concerned about it. But, you know, I started thinking about his childhood and growing up and some of the experiences that we had with James, and man, he could write a book. A lot of material, But Lynette and I would always say, you know, when he would say, you wouldn't believe what happened, we just would take a deep breath and wait to see what the end was going to be. But just a couple of memories that I have over the years that I thought I'd share. And there's a lot, but just a couple that I had over the years that I thought might be fun. Is I remember when James was really young, he would sit on the dock at their cottages in Alpena and fish. And he loved to fish, always loved to fish. And this one day he was sitting there fishing, baiting his hook, and I was in the cottage, and all of a sudden he come running and he goes, Dad, you won't believe what happened. I caught a seagull. So we proceeded to untangle the seagull and let it go. But wrong direction. I think James was more concerned about the seagull, whether it was okay or not, whether it lived, whether it survived. Another memory I have is that when he was young, he was first starting to play golf. We went out golfing, he and I, and we were on the tee box, and there was a whole flock of geese in front of us. And James says to me, Dad, do you think I can go ahead and hit? And I said, well, you know, you've been hitting the ball really good today. I said, you know, the ball's been going up pretty good. So, yeah, go ahead and tee off. Well, sure enough, that's when he hit a worm burner. And there was a cloud of feathers, and the rest of the geese started coming in and looking for us. Remember that? Once again, you know, he wanted to stay and see if it was okay, but I convinced him we could move on. I swear, the whole time we were out there, he was more worried about the goose. Was it okay? Did it survive? He's got a soft side, very soft side. another one here that I'm going to give you. We were in Florida, and actually we were sharing a Pat, and Pat can actually tell the story better than me, but I'll give you the version. We were down in Florida for a week, and it was the last night we were down there. This last night we were down there, and we went out to dinner. We were all packed, ready to come home, driving home, and we were all packed, ready to come home, and we went out to dinner with Sharon and Pat and their 2 kids and Jamie and Janelle, and my folks were with us. And all during dinner, Jamie was like, Dad, they had this vending machine that had lobsters in it. And these claws that would come down, remember? These claws would come down and grab the lobster. And all during dinner, Dad, can I change? No. Finally, the end of the night, we're ready to go, paying the bill. Okay, here's some change, go try it. I'm not doing as good as you, Pat. That's the master at this story. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, there's screams. There's a big crowd around the machine, and there's James with the lobster. There's James with the lobster. He brought over the table, or no, the manager brought over the table, and he says, what do you guys want to do? And we said we were leaving, and we'd have it cooked. And once again, James says, no, Dad, I want to take it with me. A soft heart. James, I'm almost done. James, I know, I'm long-winded. James always loved to fish. And when he was real young, I would try and sneak out of the cottage without him for a couple of mainly because, and then he would get up, I'd convince him to stay in bed for a while. He'd get up and I'd see him on the dock with his fishing pole, so I'd come in and pick him up. But the main reason is when I go fishing with James, he would do the fishing and I would be untangling line, getting it out of the crowd. But the first few years it was like, he was fishing and I was just working. But James, he always has loved to fish. And this one we're gonna have a hard time. We were vacationing in Florida and sitting on the beach. And I'll regroup. We're on the beach, and James calls me, and he said, hey, and he was all excited. He says, hey, Dad, what's going on? I said, well, we're sitting here on the beach. We're with Aunt Lynn and Uncle Tom and Sharon and Pat. They'd come down and surprise us. We were sitting on the beach. And I said, we're just chilling here on the beach. Trying to use his lingo. And he said, well, that's cool. I'm glad you're having a good time. And he said, well, guess what? He says, I got a date Saturday. I've got a date Saturday. I said, oh, that's wonderful, Jane. That's awesome. And he said, I said, well, tell me about this girl. And he said, well, it's somebody that I met on our softball team. She works, in the building where I work, and she's on my softball team. And you won't believe it, Dad. I met a girl that likes to fish. And we're going fishing to South Haven on Saturday. So that's awesome. So I don't know how the fishing was that day, but I think you guys made a pretty good catch. I guess the last thing I'd like to say is just I'm honored and proud to be your dad. Always have been, always will be. And I'm going to be honored and proud to be your father-in-law. life to the fullest and have lots of great kids like you.
A round of applause for a terrific dad. Let's hear for the father of the girl.